This investigation was never supposed to be made public. For months, these recordings were treated as unrelated incidents. Different buildings, different cameras, different witnesses. At first, nothing appeared to connect them, until we noticed two details repeated across the surviving recordings. The first was a black cat, always watching, always reacting, before anyone else. The second was a human-shaped figure wearing the same dark red raincoat, usually distant, always silent. We collected every surviving recording we could find, and when we reviewed them together, the investigation began to change. Watch carefully. Don't look at the doors. Don't watch the shadows. Watch the cat. The earliest recording we recovered came from the basement of an abandoned building. The original source has never been identified. By the time it reached our investigation, the footage had already been copied several times. At first, there seemed to be only one thing worth examining: the door. It remained closed for the beginning of the recording. Then, and without anyone visibly touching it, it began to move. That was the moment most viewers focused on. But when we reviewed the opening frames, something else stood out. Watch the cat. Before the door begins to move, the cat is already watching it. Its body remains perfectly still. Its attention never changes, even after the camera angle changes. We cannot determine what drew its attention. It may have heard something. The microphone failed to record. It may have noticed movement, too subtle for the camera. Or it may simply have been watching the door. What matters is the sequence. The cat is watching. The camera angle changes. Then, the door opens. Only later in the recording does the second detail appear. At the time, we believed this was an isolated incident. Then another recording appeared. When we finished reviewing the basement recording, we believed the investigation had reached a dead end. The movement of the door could not be explained. Neither could the cat's reaction, but at that point, we still believed the basement was an isolated incident. Then, another recording surfaced. Different location, different camera, different witness. At first, the similarities appeared insignificant, until we noticed one recurring detail: the same dark red raincoat. It appeared only briefly, sometimes in the distance, sometimes partially hidden, never long enough to identify who or what we were looking at. The recordings were captured weeks apart. Some were recovered from security systems, others came from personal cameras. No known connection existed between the people involved, yet the same detail kept returning. At first, we assumed coincidence. Then a third recording appeared, then a fourth. By then, it was no longer the individual recordings that concerned us. It was the pattern. After comparing every recording, we returned onto the hospital footage. At normal speed, nothing appeared unusual. Until we slowed it down, frame by frame. The corridor stayed quiet. No one reacted, except the cat. It stopped at the exact same place every time. Only then did we notice a dark red raincoat, barely visible, far down the corridor, too distant to identify. The footage had been reviewed countless times, yet no one reported seeing the figure, not until it was compared with the other recordings. Once again, we were left with the same question: why did it keep appearing? The laundry recording was different, not because of what appeared, but because of what reacted first. Once again, the black cat stopped. It didn't run, it didn't hide, it simply watched. The same behavior we documented inside the basement. The same behavior we later found inside the hospital. 3 recordings, 3 locations, the same reaction. At first, we believed it was coincidence. Now, we weren't so sure. For the first time, our investigation began to focus less on the figure and more on the cat. After reviewing every recording, one fact became impossible to ignore. Different locations, different cameras, different years, the same pattern. A black cat reacting first, a dark red raincoat appearing briefly. No witnesses, no explanation. Every case ended the same way. Unanswered. We cannot say what these recordings captured, only that they all captured something. Our investigation is far from over.